Hello and welcome to Sentinel Skills. In today's video, we will be talking about physical security. In today's world, security threats are becoming more frequent and sophisticated, making physical security a critical aspect of any organization's overall security strategy. In this video, we will cover what physical security is, why it's important, its components, and good practices to ensure that you have a comprehensive understanding of this topic. What is physical security? Physical security refers to the measures taken to protect people, assets, and infrastructure from physical harm, theft, or damage. It involves designing and implementing various security controls to prevent unauthorized access, theft, or damage to physical assets such as buildings, equipment, and people. Physical security is necessary for a variety of reasons, including protecting employees and visitors, preventing theft and vandalism, protecting assets, and compliance with regulations. Physical security is not just about protecting physical assets, it is also about protecting the people who work in or visit a facility from harm or injury. Why is physical security important? In today's world, physical security is more critical than ever before. With the rise of cyber attacks and other security threats, it's easy to forget that physical security is just as important. Physical security is necessary to prevent theft, damage, and other crimes against an organization's physical assets, as well as to protect people who work in or visit a facility from harm or injury. By implementing physical security measures, organizations can ensure that their assets and people are protected, and that they are in compliance with any applicable regulations. Failure to implement proper physical security measures can result in significant financial losses, reputational damage, and legal liabilities. Components of physical security. There are several components of physical security that organizations should consider when developing their physical security plan. Access control systems. These systems limit access to certain areas of a facility or building through the use of physical barriers, such as gates, fences, doors, and locks. Access control systems can also use technology such as biometrics and smart cards to grant access to authorized personnel. Surveillance systems. These systems use cameras, sensors, and alarms to detect and monitor suspicious activity. Surveillance systems can also use facial recognition and analytics to identify potential threats. Intrusion detection systems. These systems are designed to detect unauthorized access or entry to a facility or building. Intrusion detection systems can use sensors, alarms, and video analytics to detect suspicious activity. Perimeter security. This involves the use of physical barriers such as walls, fences, and barriers to prevent unauthorized entry. Perimeter security can also use technology such as motion sensors and video analytics to detect potential threats. Steps and good practices for physical security. Implementing physical security measures can be a daunting task, but there are several steps and good practices that organizations can follow to ensure they are as effective as possible. Risk assessment. Conducting a risk assessment is the first step in developing a physical security plan. This involves identifying potential threats and vulnerabilities to a facility or building. A risk assessment can also help organizations prioritize physical security measures based on their likelihood and potential impact. Access control. Limiting access to certain areas of a facility or building through the use of physical barriers, such as gates, fences, doors, and locks, is an effective measure in preventing unauthorized access and detecting suspicious activity. Organizations should also implement visitor management procedures to ensure that visitors are authorized and accounted for. Security personnel. Employing trained security personnel to monitor and patrol the facility or building can be an effective measure in preventing unauthorized access and detecting suspicious activity. Security personnel can also respond to incidents and emergencies. Surveillance systems. Implementing surveillance systems that use cameras, sensors, and alarms to detect and monitor suspicious activity is a crucial part of physical security. Organizations should ensure that the surveillance systems are properly installed and maintained to ensure their effectiveness. Intrusion detection systems. Implementing intrusion detection systems that detect unauthorized access or entry to a facility or building can be an effective measure in preventing and detecting suspicious activity. Organizations should ensure that the intrusion detection systems are properly installed and maintained to ensure their effectiveness. Perimeter security. Implementing perimeter security measures such as walls, fences, and barriers to prevent unauthorized entry can be an effective measure in preventing and detecting suspicious activity. Organizations should also ensure that the perimeter security measures are properly installed and maintained to ensure their effectiveness. Emergency response plan. Having an emergency response plan in place is crucial in the event of an incident or emergency. Organizations should have a plan in place that outlines the roles and responsibilities of personnel, communication protocols, evacuation procedures, and contingency plans. Training and awareness. Training personnel on physical security best practices and raising awareness of potential security threats can help prevent incidents and improve response times. Organizations should also conduct regular drills and exercises to ensure that personnel are familiar with emergency procedures. 10. To conclude, physical security is an essential aspect of any organization's overall security strategy. 10. By implementing physical security measures, organizations can protect their people, assets, and infrastructure from harm, theft, or damage. 10. The components of physical security include access control, surveillance systems, intrusion detection systems, and perimeter security. Following good practices such as conducting a risk assessment, limiting access control, employing security personnel, implementing surveillance systems, intrusion detection systems, perimeter security, having an emergency response plan, and training and awareness can help ensure that physical security measures are effective. Remember, the goal of physical security is to prevent incidents from happening and to respond quickly and effectively in the event of an incident. Thank you for watching this video on physical security. Please like, share and subscribe.